In 499 BC, the Greek cities of the Asian coast revolted against the rule of the Persian Empire and banished their Persian-appointed tyrants. The center of the uprising and the place where it all started is the city-state of Miletus, led by Aristagoras. After consolidating power and recruiting new allies, he begins his campaign against the Persians. His first act is inciting a revolt in the Persian province of Phrygia, where the enslaved people of Paeonia have been resettled. The Paeonians escape from Phrygia and flee to the seacoast in Ionia, pursued by their Persian captors. Here they cross over to the island of Chios, where the Persians can no longer follow them. The Greek ships from Chios then take them to the island of Lesbos. And then the Greeks from Lesbos help transporting them to Europe at Doriscos. From Doriscos they continue on foot until they reach their native country. The Strymon River Valley is the original homeland of the enslaved Paeonians. 13 years earlier, the Persians occupied their land and deported them to Asia, where they've lived until now. Meanwhile, the young democracy of Athens and Eretria, the leading sea power of the time, joined the war against the Persians. 20 Athenian and 5 Eretrian ships sail over to Ionia to help out the rebels. The Greek fleet first moves against the Persian navy that is already mobilizing in Asia to crush the revolt. But the Persian fleet coming from Cyprus is quickly defeated by the Eretrians in the Pompilian Sea. After securing the sea against the Persians, the allied Greeks set their sights on Sardis, the regional capital of the Persian Empire, and the seat of the Persian governor Artaxerxes. The Ionian states gather their forces for the campaign against the Persian governor. They all ship their armies to the city-state of Ephesus, where they join the Athenians and Eretrians. From there, they march inland along the Kystros River guided by the locals. Then they have to cross the Tmalos Mountains, a 1-kilometer high climb and descent, to reach the plains around Sardis. From this mountain flows the Paktalos stream, famous for carrying gold dust into Sardis, which provides the basis of the city's wealth. After passing through Sardis, the stream flows into the Hermos River. Most of the city of Sardis is undefended and easily captured by the invading Greek army. But the Persian governor Artaxerxes and his guards retreat to a fortified citadel on a mountain top, 300 meters above the city. The roofs of the city's reef houses catch fire during the battle, and soon the entire lower city is in flames. But the fire cuts off the escape routes of the Persian forces still in the city, so they all rush to the city square to make a last stand. This counterattack of the Persians frightens the Ionians so much that they flee the city. The destruction of their regional capital is a serious blow for the Persians, but the Greeks failed to capitalize on this success and fled, so the Battle of Sardis proved indecisive. The Greeks cross the Tmalos mountain again and make their way back to Ephesus. By the time the Persian reinforcements arrive from the neighboring provinces, the Ionians are gone and the city is in ruins. The Persians follow the Ionians back to their base at Ephesus, and a battle ensues. The Eretrian general falls in battle, and the Greeks suffer heavy casualties, then retreat to their ships. After the disastrous battle at Ephesus, everybody sails back to their home city. Athens and Eretria see the Sardis campaign as a serious failure and they terminate their alliance with the Ionians. But in Asia, the Ionians continue to expand after the burning of Sardis. They send a fleet to the Hellespontos to compel the Greek cities there to join the revolt. The southern coast of the Hellespontos consists of 6 separate Greek city-states, all of which join the uprising against the Persians. The northern coast of the Hellespontos is called the Thracian Peninsula, and it was an Athenian colony before it was captured by the Persians 15 years ago. And when the Greek cities of the Propontis joined the revolt, the Ionians gained full control of the sea lanes into the Black Sea, and they also cut off the Persian Empire from its European holdings. As a result, Persian control over Thrace and Macedonia is relaxed, and these territories will have to be reconquered after the revolt. Back in the Thracian peninsula, its leader Miltiades is preparing for a military expedition. Miltiades, who is going to become the hero of the Battle of Marathon in subsequent years, was originally appointed by the Athenians to lead the peninsula, but he spent the last 15 years as a Persian vassal. The targets of Miltiades' campaign are the islands of Imbros and Lemnos, both of them inhabited by the non-Greek Pelasgians, and cut off from their Persian masters. Miltiades sets off from the port at Elaius when he starts his famous invasion of Lemnos. The Pelasgian city of Hephaestia surrenders, and its inhabitants agree to leave the island. But the city of Myrina puts up a fight, so it is placed under siege, and after capturing it, its inhabitants are expelled. But Miltiades doesn't keep the islands for himself. Instead, he hands them over to his native country, Athens. The Athenians immediately start sending colonists to populate the newly acquired islands. This expulsion of the Pelasgians from Lemnos ended a long-standing ethnic conflict with the Athenians. More than a century earlier, the Pelasgians of Lemnos lived at the foot of the Hymettos mountain, right next to Athens. But when they lost in a conflict against the neighboring Athenians, they were expelled and moved to Lemnos. But the Pelasgians later returned to kidnap some Athenian women from a religious festival at Brauron, whom they subsequently murdered. As retribution for this crime, the Athenians have been demanding that the Pelasgians hand over their island ever since, and Lemnos is now finally in Athenian hands. The Pelasgians are not a Greek nation, they are the remnants of the peoples who inhabited most of Greece before the Greek-speaking tribes arrived. The language and ancestry of the Pelasgians of Lemnos is actually linked to the Tyrrhenians or Etruscans in Italy. After recruiting the Hellespontos in the north, the Ionians now send their fleet south to Caria. Some of the Carians already joined the uprising when it started, and the rest of them are convinced to join now, after the burning of Sardis. The main holdout was Kaunas, a city-state that had a unique culture distinct from the other Carians. It's not known if the neighboring Dorians followed the other Greek nations in joining the rebellion. At this point, the Ionian Revolt extends to almost all the Greek cities on the western coast of Asia, but it's going to spread even further. The island of Cyprus is populated by Greek-speaking peoples, combined with a strong Phoenician element. The island is divided into about a dozen kingdoms, all of them vassal states to the Persian king. The kingdom of Salamis is the leading power in Cyprus, but its king, Gorgas, is reluctant to revolt against the Persians. But the king has to flee the city, when his brother, Onesilos, stages a coup and locks the king out of the city. The new king joins the Ionian Revolt against the Persians and persuades all the rest of Cyprus to follow him. The only dissenting voice is the city of Amathus, so Onesilos sends an army to put the town under siege. All the other kingdoms of Cyprus join the uprising. With the addition of Cyprus, the Ionian Revolt reaches its greatest extent. But soon, the rebelling Greek states will have to take on the might of the entire Persian Empire, which is already planning a counter-offensive. At his capital city, the Persian king Darius the Great is outraged by the destruction of Sardis, and vows to punish everyone responsible for it. He makes sure that he will never forget taking revenge on the Athenians, who dared to declare war on him.
He ordered one of his servants to say to him 3 times whenever dinner was set before him, "Master, remember the Athenians."
The Persian general Artibios is already gathering an army in Cilicia to reconquer Cyprus. The Cypriot leader Onesilos requests help from the Ionians against the coming invasion. The Ionians send a large fleet to Cyprus without any delay, and they arrive before the Persians can get there. The Persian fleet sailing against Cyprus is provided by the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians first transport the Persian land army of Artabios from Cilicia to Cyprus. Onesilos at Amathus is forced to lift the siege of the city. He returns to his hometown to defend it against the Persians. The kingdoms allied with Salamis, like Saloe and Kurion, also mobilize against the Persians and send their armies to Salamis, the primary target of the Persian invasion. The Persian land army then marches to the city of Salamis from its landing place, while the Persian fleet has to circumnavigate Cape Claides to reach the city. At Salamis, the land and sea battles happen simultaneously. On land, Onesilos, the king of Salamis, personally slays the Persian general Artabios. But when Stesanor, the king of Kurion, flees the battle, the entire army is routed. Onesilos, the leader of the entire Cyprus revolt, and Aristokapros, the king of Saloe, both die while fleeing. Meanwhile, in the sea battle, the Ionians are victorious over the Phoenician fleet, and the threat posed by the Persian navy is eliminated for the next few years. After the battle, the city of Salamis surrenders to the Persians, who reinstate its exiled king, Gorgas. The Persians then besiege the rest of the Cypriot kingdoms that still resist, like Saloe and Paphos. The siege of Saloe lasts over 5 months. So, after a year of freedom, Cyprus is subjugated again by the Persian Empire.